Guess I'm not a newbie. So it's interesting because it's that we were talking once about mindset. Sit back and go, oh God, what am I going to do? How am I going to make money? And I'll tell you the wake up call. We're both a part of Pace's team, Pace Morby's team, and he did a podcast one night. And on the podcast, he was doing sort of a newbies presentation. And he goes down through the newbies and he's like, for those of you that don't know what a 1031 is, and for those of you that don't know that, and as he's going through it, I'm like, I know that. I know that. I have my North Carolina broker's license. Wow. I guess I'm not a newbie. So it's interesting because it's that we were talking once about mindset. I left a corporate world where you're patterned to perform a certain role. And now I'm leaving that role and I'm now going to be my own boss and I'm going to define things. So at the time I made the decision, part of it was a spiritual thing. I was reading a book called 2 Weeks Notice, Amy Porterfield. If you're doing anything in marketing, she's a great person in marketing, but she was a woman that was leaving the Tony Robbins organization, believe it or not. And she said, at some point in your life, there's a pivot and you go, okay, I'm to leave this world. And the early part of that year, there was a lot of not very fun things going on in the corporate environment. And I wasn't sure I wanted to pursue that anymore. A long range goal was like everybody else, get to your 60 and retire, right? And it's like, And I was on a walk with my sister and I turned around and I said, I'm reading this book and I feel in my heart, I'm being guided that I need to give a 2 weeks notice, but I'm supposed to give the date to somebody close to me. And I turned around and looked at her and I said, I believe it is supposed to be July 1st. I was laid off July 19th. And when I called my sister to tell her, she goes, hang on. She goes, I guess God gave you 19 days and he's done. You're on your own. But in the background, I'll tell you a couple of things that led up to it too. In January of that year, because I'd had this discussion, I do a lot of reading. Something in my soul said, hey, you're going to go out on your own. I kind of already sort of had a platform over the seasons. Brian and I were very savvy. We saved up money for a 6 to 9 month plan. All those things were in place, right? And so when it came to the time that it transpired, it wasn't my idea. It wasn't my plan to jump ship. That plan was in place. But in honesty, going back to the mindset and the belief pattern, I like the paycheck. I like the vacation time. I like the health care. So I wasn't necessarily sure at that time in that moment where the crystal ball was going to end because I was in a secure place, right? I'm getting a very nice paycheck. I'm looking forward to the March bonus. And so I feel like there's an aspect of my mind that really look forward to exploring the new opportunity of being on my own and having some of the defined freedoms I wanted. But at the same time, I was holding on to the security blanket.